Hi, Melik. I'd like you to tell everybody on this Zoom that it's being recorded. So don't use any bad words in Hebrew. And and we're gonna start by this way. My dear friend Melik is now on the program here, and we're going to talk about our relationship many years ago when we met you in a restaurant with what was his name with the telephone man? Larry Goldfield.
Larry Goldfield.
Remember him?
I did hear from him. Yeah. Larry Goldfield.
Yeah. And we met at a restaurant, and one thing led to another. Your two girls were about the same age as Lisa and Danny, and our families grew together while you were in St. Louis, correct?
Absolutely correct.
And we've had a very good relationship all this time, except I owe you some money, but I never paid you, but you like me, so I didn't have to pay. No?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're so right. Yeah.
And you were a professor at the St. Louis University. A full professor.
Right.
Okay. And who's one of your assistants?
Who is one of my sisters?
Assistants.
You were the most important visiting professor in my class.
Yeah.
I invited you to teach my class, and it was so successful that I made it, I think, almost every year. And what you gave them was the practical wisdom that you have. I think one of the best businessmen that I know.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And you're one of the smartest people I have ever met. Oh, yeah. We used to play brain games. Remember all that? Brain games, walking you through a shopping center. And I'd say to you, how many mannequins were in that other building?
What did you say to me?
What's that?
What did you say to me?
That you and I would have brain games by walking through a shopping center, and I'd say, those three women that just walked by, how many women had hats on their head, or some crazy thing like that? And we used to play all those games. Do you remember that?
I do remember. I remember that we went to any place, and you saw things that I never thought that exist. Your eyes, you saw 360 degrees all around us. And I was, even though I am an officer in the army, you are the best defender that I can have, the best friend that can protect me, because he sees around me all the potential enemies. So you are the best friend to have when I go to an environment where some enemies can appear.
Yeah.
So it was always a good feeling to be with you.
And you know what? It was always a very good feeling to be with you, because maybe I had that feeling and I could tell you, but I sure as heck could get lost in Tel Aviv or anywhere else we went. I didn't know and if it weren't for you, I'd have gone west and I'd have drowned in the ocean. I wouldn't have known in the Mediterranean.
That's not true.
I know.
That's not true, because even in Israel, you always told me, that's the direction, this is north, this is south, Melik, you should go this way, and you should go this way, even in Israel.
Yeah.
You directed me.
Yeah.
Even in Israel.
Yep. Our relationship was just wonderful. I'd come to Israel. I remember when we first started coming there, we stayed in your home. Yeah, remember? Oh,
Of course.
and then you had a heater.
I must have something. I must have something to your granddaughter and to your son, that they would hear me.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but somehow we had unbelievable feelings toward each other, even when we didn't know each other too well.
Yeah.
I remember that I went to Sunshine Drapery in the beginning of our friendship, and you had your finance advisor coming to your office it was a true statement of feeling that we are so close to each other that you can share with me everything. And I would never forget, I will never forget it.
Thank you, Melik. And I felt the same about you. And I loved it because I did not spend one day of my life in college. And I was there at the university giving a talk. And I would be up there, right there with Dr. Kugel. And it was really fun. And I felt really good about this Les Finkelstein guy, who was me, of course, who never went to college, and now I'm teaching in college. What's going on here in America? Whoa, what a country. You made it that way. Yeah.
You're unbelievable. You taught them crisis management after the big fire. And it was amazing because I don't think that too many managers could have handled the crisis that you had after the burning of your business. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. It really was unbelievable. I don't think you can read a better case of optimal crisis management as the lesson that you gave these children. They were amazed. And it was really a lesson they will never forget.
Well, thank you.
Really amazing.
Thank you.
The only thing is that you needed some support. I had to subscribe a Wall Street Journal, a student subscription to Professor Finkelstein.
Wow.
You remember?
Yeah, sure.
A student subscription with a discount. Wall Street Journal as a student.
Yes. Yes.
You remember?
Oh, absolutely. Sure. I remember. So, Melik, what I want to do is talk about, besides our wonderful, wonderful, deep relationship, our wives like each other, our children love your children, etc. And it's a love fest between our family and yours, and it's been that way for I would say 45 years or so, wouldn't you? 40 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
I have to explain to Jen. I've been in the States for 17 years, but still I was not a citizen in the beginning. Later on, I was a citizen, and Les was a solid American. And as a stranger, as a foreigner, you don't feel completely free to say what you have in mind. And when I went with Les, I felt like the strongest American. I felt confident. And when I came to Sunshine Drapery and I needed something, I was afraid of Bill, what do you call him, your partner. And Les would look at me and he would not care about Bill and anything. He looked at me, whatever you need, take this car or this car. He didn't care about anything.
Yeah.
I was, what was his name, the late, your partner,
Bill Ackerman. Bill Ackerman. Yeah. Yeah.
And you didn't care about him if it was a matter of, doing something for me. You didn't care about it.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah. Thank you. So, Melik, what I'd like to do is talk about one of the very funny things that happened where I had to raise my voice and I couldn't believe it. When one day I said to you, Melik, what's going on, Melik? What are you doing this weekend? He said, oh, I'm going to go fishing. And I said, oh, you're going fishing. Who are you going with? And you told me who the guys were, and I knew who these people were. And you said you're going to, I said, well, where are you going to go? And you said you're going to go to Arkansas. Arkansas. And I said, Arkansas? What on earth is an Arkansas? I don't know. I never heard that word before, Arkansas. And you said, Arkansas. What? And I said, Melik, what are you talking about? Well, we figured out it was Arkansas. You pronounced it Arkansas, which you should. But if you were an English major, you would have said Arkansas. But they call it Arkansas. Okay? And So, and that was at that time. Then uh, uh, your wife. Now, stop me if I'm wrong at any of this conversation. Your lovely wife was friends with her name is Arit, and tell us about her relationship with the woman whose husband became what was he, the head of Israel? What was it?
Prime Minister.
Prime Minister? Yeah. Okay. And tell me about the relationship
Prime Minister.
your wife had with her. She grew up in kindergarten together.
You know, from, they were the same class, they were the same kindergarten, and they were raising in the same city up to the age of 18 when they went to the army. And then Nava Barak is the name of Barak, Ehud Barak's wife. Ehud was the chief of staff of the Israeli army, and later on was the prime minister of Israel, and now is a million, very rich man today. And he was dating Nava, and of course, we got married first, and we were close to each other for up to now for 30 years. And we went. They invited us to the prime minister home, and we saw all the delegates that came to Israel. And when there was attack from Iran with missiles, we knew we were in their home. And when everybody was in the shelter, we knew where the shelter fell, and so we didn't have to look to be in the shelter because we knew where if there was a problem or not, because the authorities told the prime minister where the missiles fell. So it was a long relationship with one of the most important person in Israel for many years. And up to now, we are very good friends of Naba. We go to Europe together, and we are. She married somebody else that got divorced, but we are close friends with Naba and with Ehud, a little bit less.
Now, tell me, he was going to go to the United States and visit with Bill Clinton, the president, and you had dinner with him the night before, I think. He left. Isn't that right?
With whom?
With
Ehud Barak?
yeah, you had dinner. I think you were with them the night before or the week before. He was going to go to the United States and have a meeting in the White House with President Bill Clinton. And Bill Clinton, do you remember that?
Yeah, I was invited when Hillary Clinton went to the prime minister house for dinner. We were invited to all the important meetings that he had with world leaders. Yeah.
Well, Barack was coming to the United States, and his trip to he was okay. Here's what I remember: that he was coming. You and Barack, then your wife and his wife, they had dinner, and just a day or so later, he was going to fly to Washington D.C. and have talks with Bill Clinton, President of the United States. And you told him, because Bill Clinton used to be the governor of Arkansas. And you, yes, and yeah, Arkansas. And you said to him, whatever you do, don't call it Arkansas, because you pronounce it Arkansas. If you tell him how is your family in Arkansas, you can't say Arkansas. And you told the prime minister not to call Arkansas Arkansas. You told him you call it Arkansas. And I'm still laughing about it. And that happens to be 40 years ago, and I'm still laughing.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
You know, we are dumb Israelis. We see an X at the end of the word, Arkansas. So we say Arkansas.
Yeah.
How would we know that you don't have to pronounce the S How
Yeah.
can you know?
Well, you have to call Les Finkelstein, and I would help you. You can help me with your language, and I'll help you with my language. Although you speak both languages, so you've got an edge over me. Okay.
But you know, in class, I had a lot of big problem with the English. You know, when I wanted to give a quiz in class,
Yeah.
I would tell my students, why don't you take a sheet of paper? And it was a sheet of paper. I should have said a sheet, S-H-E-E-T. And I pronounce it like S-H-I-T, sheet of paper. You know? So I had a lot of big problems with your language, but hopefully it went okay after so many years learning from you about Arkansas and other words. It became less of a problem.
Do you remember one time we went on a canoe ride down a river? We were down on a river, and
Oh,
remember that?
With the shekel.
Yeah.
The rich guy.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was a memorable trip.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Sadie, do you have anything you want to ask Melik?
Oh, well, I think the session is going great so far. Ava, do you have anything to add?
No.
No? Do you want to tell your story or no?
Jeff, come on over.
Hi.
Hi, Dad.
Hi. How's it going today?
Pretty good.
Melik, I want to
How are
ask
you, Dad?
Melik, I have a question for you. When you were living in Boston, and Ruth and I came up the steps in your place where you lived in that apartment, you almost turned as white as a ghost, looked at us and couldn't believe that we just showed up for your birthday. Who came right after that? They knocked on the door. Who was that? Jeff came from
Yeah.
From Michigan.
I mean, it was unbelievable. The way that you and Jeff came to see me, it was really unbelievable. First of all, we went to visit Yael and Rani, my daughter and Rani, her husband. So, and finally I see you, and I was so surprised that it was mind-boggling. I mean, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It took me I think 15 minutes to come to my senses to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then you invited us, you remember, to a steak house.
Oh, maybe it was a mistake. Was it a mistake?
Steakhouse.
Was it a mistake?
A steakhouse.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to make a joke about it was a mistake. No, it wasn't a mistake. Yeah, we went to a nice steakhouse in Boston because it was your birthday.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
There were so many important memories. I mean, it's unbelievable. And it's really unbelievable. And unbelievable.
Well,
I remember I went to business morning meeting, and I was amazed how you got feedback from your employees.
yeah.
You plan every morning. How do you go achieving your goals? It was unbelievable.
Thank you. But I had one that I was really upset. I was scared to death. And here's what happened. My son, Jeff, on a Monday morning, I'm going to go to Sunshine Drapery every Monday morning to give that talk, have a sales meeting. My son was going to take a balloon ride and jump out of the balloon with a parachute. And I couldn't stand it. Says, what the heck are you doing? And I had all these salespeople in there, and I was only thinking about Jeff landing on his head coming out of a balloon. Finally, about the end of the sales meeting, Jeff called and says, I did it. Oh, thank God. Okay. Do you remember that, Jeff?
I do. It was fun.
Yeah, fun to him.
It was a hot air balloon, and it was a big bungee cord. It was about 180 feet off the ground, and jumped out. It was fun.
180 feet was on a bungee cord out of a balloon.
A parachute from a balloon?
Yeah.
It wasn't a parachute. It was a bungee cord, like an elastic band.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was a parachute. Right.
No.
Okay. So he jumps out of.
So I parachuted.
What's that? Melik, what did you say? You can't hear me?
It's interesting because I did parachute from an airplane
Oh,
in the army.
yeah. Well, you had to. Jeff didn't have to jump out of this balloon bag.
It was making me. I wasn't going to enemy territory.
Yeah.
Over a field.
I didn't know you were. Were you a paratrooper, or did they just teach you to do that?
I was an officer in the army.
Yeah.
As an officer, they gave me a commando course.
Okay.
Commando. So in the commando, they had us parachute like eight jumps.
Uh huh.
And it was interesting because there were kind of difficult jumps. In the commando course, it's a complicated jumps with all the equipment and machine guns. And at that time, the machine guns were much heavier. And when you jump with a machine gun, you tie the machine gun to your leg, and you have to release the machine gun before you land, because otherwise you're going to break your leg. And sometimes we parachute, we jump at night, so you don't know where the land comes in. So when you release the machine gun and the machine gun goes like 15 feet beyond you, below you, then you hear the machine gun hit the ground, then you know that the ground is coming and you get ready for the parachute roll, and you roll and you don't hurt yourself. So it was kind of nice experience. So therefore, it's kind of interesting to see that that you jump from a balloon. I didn't know that you can do that.
Yeah, I didn't either, and I didn't like the idea, but he had to do it. My son had to do it. He used to do things like that. He used to drive me cuckoo.
Jeff is doing a lot of extreme sports, skiing, and you name it.
Yeah.
He's a good sportsman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not so much anymore. I'm not doing any of that crazy stuff anymore.
Really?
A lot, and or
What he's trying to tell you is he grew up.
Like father, like son.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
remember?
Very courageous.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember one time I was walking around St. Louis, Missouri, carrying a .45 caliber pistol?
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And all the Nazis after you.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. The guy who, I'm not going to get into that whole conversation, but the guy that murdered my friend died in prison a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I think we're done. Do you think so, Jeff? Sadie, did you guys have any questions? Oh,
Yes, this is a lot of fun.
okay, good. This is absolutely amazing that here we are, Melik, a couple of old men doing things that my granddaughter can do 99% better than me. And that kind of is, I'm excited, but then depressed. Why can't I be as smart as she is? Well, she took the brains from Jeff, I guess.
The smarter she is,
The happier I am.
smarter she is.
The happier I am.
That's what we're supposed to do. That's the happier you are.
Yeah, okay.
You're right.
So
You have to remember me, that you have to remember that you are my best professor.
Oh.
I don't think I learned from any other person in the world like I did learn from you.
thank you.
have to remember that.
Thank you. So you can call me Professor Finkelstein.
Absolutely.
Okay,
And the word absolutely I learned from you.
thank you. And I learned plenty from you as well. Absolutely, I did. Yeah, we had a good relationship for all those years, and we did all sorts of things together and just had a wonderful time. We met after you moved to Israel. We met in New York City, and I remember your daughter buying an orange jacket. And I said, who would wear an orange jacket? Well, she loved her. You remember that? No, you don't. That's okay. Uh, uh, you're looking at me like I have an orange jacket on. Okay. Anyway, Melik, I think we're done. You think so, Sadie?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good. Well, good to see you.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to see you, to see this granddaughter and Jeff. It's so nice to see you after some time that I didn't see you. I really am happy.
Yeah, good.
And how are your kids and your grandkids?
We saw them yesterday.
Oh,
Even though, there is a corona and we're supposed to be careful not to meet the youngsters, but we try to keep distance and to have a mask on us.
yeah,
So we did it.
yeah. What does the people in Israel think about Donald, the idiot Trump?
I don't know what day. I do despise him. I don't stand it.
Yeah, and
He's a danger to the whole world.
yeah, and Netanyahu is right behind him.
I'm behind him. I don't know who is behind who.
Yeah.
I don't know who is behind who.
Well, let's just hope they have a traffic accident together. And
Right.
yeah.
And they can take Putin with them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd like to flush him down.
Behind it all.
What's that, Jeff?
I think Putin is behind it all.
Oh yeah, Putin. Oh, absolutely.
That's right.
Yes.
That's
Sure.
right.
Sure.
Putin is behind them all.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. So, Sadie, are we done?
We're
Yeah,
done.
we're
All
done.
right. We'll see you guys later.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Next. Okay. Wait a minute. I gotta say one more thing. Next year in Jerusalem.
Next year in Jerusalem.
Yay! Yeah. Okay, guys.
Bye.
I love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.